Oh my goodness. The drama in the reseller community is full swing now. Usually I stay out of it. I know everyone says that, but I swear I do. But this one was kind of like a car crash. You couldn't stop looking or watching it. That's how at least I felt. And thankfully I did not partake in the themyrch launch or the boxes because I just did not care for it. And I'll get more into that later, but it did inspire me to do this video. This video is all about liquidations. If you guys are new here, thank you so much for watching my video. My name is Mackenzie and I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark. And please hit the subscribe button to watch more videos of mine, and do give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it. So today's video is about liquidation boxes. I have been doing liquidation not for too long. I started maybe a year and a half ago, a year and a half ago, I started doing liquidation. So in today's video, I'm going to go over what liquidation is, the different types of liquidations, the conditions of liquidation, the shipping that's associated with liquidation, like the fees, and then places to buy liquidation at some websites that I have done a little bit of research on, and then I'll tell you those websites, and then you can do your own research on. So liquidation is literally all about doing your homework. It's a huge investment that you very much need to be aware of the fine print on it or associated with it. It's not something just to do off of a whim, or because as much as that you have like FOMO or something and everyone else is buying it. It's really, really important to make the decision if it's right for your business and if it's not. The reason I started doing liquidation is because I wanted to grow my business. And for me, it made sense to start doing liquidation because it was the fastest way to grow my business. Because if you go to a thrift store and you're thrifting pieces, it's not always a guarantee that you're going to get pieces that you can use. Liquidation's not a guarantee either. But it would take me about an hour to go to Goodwill, and let's say in that hour I'm getting about 5 items per trip. So that would take me a huge amount of time to be able to go get my closet, my Poshmark closet, up to 1,000 listings if I was just going thrifting. That is why I decided to purchase liquidation, because I could get a pallet, and it took me a couple months to research the pallets. I'll be completely honest about that. I wanted to make sure, since I was spending a ton of money, that it was going to be a good investment, because obviously there's a huge risk involved, but the risk can be worth it if you do the right research. So I decided to buy a pallet, and it was about 400 pieces, I would say, on it. And so it took a couple hours to do that, but in retrospect to going thrifting, it just made sense for me. Okay, so what exactly is liquidation? Liquidation means an organization, so let it be like Nordstrom's, Walmart, Target, it can even be electronics, home goods, whatever, is turning their excess goods into cash. There's a number of reasons of why they do it. The main reason why they might do it is because items are outdated, it's taking up space in their warehouse, or it's taking up capital for them. So that's the main reasons of why they liquidate their goods. And so basically they sell it at a discounted rate or at cost to them so they can get rid of it and get that cash. So there are 2 types of sales that go into liquidation. You can either have the auction type. So like this one down here, you have the timer. It closes in this amount of time. It's telling me that 4 people have put bids in on this, and this is the current bid right here. So $375. It gives me an estimate of what the shipping would be. My average cost right here does not reflect the shipping price included. It's just the $375, the cost of the pallet, to the estimated units over here. And then right here, you would just what you want your bid to be, what you want your max bid to be. You can do 400 or you can do 4,000, and that would make sure that you got it. You wouldn't necessarily pay 4,000 unless someone had their max bid at 3,900. So make sure you only put the max amount that you want to pay for the liquidation. Or there's the buy it at cost. That's what I'm going to call it. So that's when you go onto a website and they have a set price. So on this one, it's $847.50. And then it tells you what the shipping is. And that is normally a flat rate shipping fee. So like this one was $69. All right, and then there are two terms that are very, very, very important to liquidation. It's called manifested and unmanifested. So manifested means that there is a sheet attached to it and it's telling you everything that is inside that pallet. So here's a pallet I actually bought for myself. I paid $2,422.59 in total. And so here's how they advertise the pallet: is one pallet apparel by Madewell, Topshop, Caslon, and more. It was 393 units, outlet condition, estimated retail. So then I'll click on it and I can show you the manifest for it. So here is the manifest for the pallet I ordered. So I just downloaded into a Google Doc. And basically how they show it is they give you item description, they give you the brand, the quantity, the retail price for it, and then estimated retail is if there is more than one quantity, it adds it up, and then a UPC. As you can see in the item description, they tell me it's a woman's Floretti stand car wool car coat size 4, and it's brown. Sometimes they give the size and sometimes they don't. Like this one is a Free People Tessa Teddy cardigan sweater, and it tells me the color but not the size. It's really important when you're doing these palettes is when you download them, they're always going to have the highest retail values at the top because they want to make the palette look really good and show you all the high priced items that are in the palette. So what I recommend doing is I always want to see how many of one quantity I'm getting. So you want to sort it from the bottom to the top, and so then I know that of just this one right here, we're getting 16 of the Madewell Doggo Kent cardigan sweaters, size medium gray. So 16 of the size medium Madewell sweaters. And then this one, I'm getting 14 of the same sweater, but in size extra small. And then 12 of unassigned. So I just don't know what those are. So I can tell you that retail value is not always exactly what it is because these sweaters they retail for more, so this is probably what they had it on clearance for. So I'm getting the clearance price on some of these, and sometimes I'm getting the actual retail price. So with this, I can always do a Google search of these and look it up. I do like to do a Google search of the higher priced items. So if this palette had more than like 20 of one item, I probably would not have to get this palette. And that's why manifest is really important, because you can see if you're getting 100 items of one thing, or if you're just getting like 15 ones, threes. So for the most part, this didn't have too many duplicates, and that's why I did pick this up. So now I'll sort by the highest first. So now we're at the highest first. So I always like to do a little Google search on the highest ones to make sure and see what they resell for, because I am buying this palette for these higher priced items. And so I want to make sure they resale for just as much as they retail for, if that makes sense. So I want to make sure that if I buy this palette, I can sell these top 20 items and make my money back on the palette, or almost all my money. So these ones, I have sold 2 of these jackets already, and they actually resaled for this price right there. So I was able to make my money back, or half my money back, by just selling 2 of these jackets. So this was a great palette to invest in. So then I'll just go down the line and do the first 20 and look up and see all these items and see if they're selling, if they're oversaturated in the market. Just make sure that there's not a ton of them, because if there are a ton of them, you're going to have a lot of competition. The resale value is probably going to be pretty low if it's an oversaturated item. And then what I like to do is I like to do this by my lowest retail value item is in this, because sometimes this will pop up and you'll have something for $5 and it'll be like a mask or a sock, and you'll have like 100 pairs of socks that are selling for $5. Well, that's probably not the best palette, because in reality, you're probably not going to be able to sell the socks for retail value. And on Poshmark, I don't know if you can make your money back selling a bunch of socks. So that's why I looked at this. So this one, it's selling a Caslon shirt tail tunic sweater. So this is a sweater, so it'll probably sell for around this price, which isn't the end of the world because of the cost of goods that I got this palette. So this is what a manifested palette looks like. Obviously, you can see it makes your life a lot easier because you know everything. You can even do research before you get the palette by like
finding all the stock photos, so then you have all the stock photos ready to go when you get the pallet. That's just a couple small things you can do.
So that is less risky when you do manifested. Then there's unmanifested. That means that you have literally no idea what is coming in that pallet. Typically, there are photos attached to this listing, and these items potentially could be in this pallet or they could not be. It's really just a kind of like a clickbaity thing that they do, is showing you all these designer items that went into one pallet maybe, and that could not even be the pallet that you're getting. So I typically avoid unmanifested. I have bought in a couple unmanifested, more smaller boxes from different companies. Like I've done B&G Trading. I did their Chaser one. I have a review video on that. You can click up here. And basically that was a Chaser B&G box. And the items were okay. They were all new with tags, but they are very, very basic styles. Mostly ones that you could probably pick up from like Costco or something like that. So definitely if they had listed, if it was manifested, I wouldn't have bought that box. And then there's ones from like Quick Lots. So they had a premium denim one. So you can click right here. I do an unboxing there. That was an unmanifested one. And that one was okay as well. Obviously, they're not the greatest styles, but they are okay. I'll be completely honest, I've only sold 2 jeans from that box, so I'm still negative on that box of liquidation, and I've had it for about 3 months now. And then one time I ordered a unmanifested one from liquidation.com. I probably would not order from them again, to be honest. It wasn't the worst thing. There were some damaged items and there were some okay things. I did make my money back. I'm not sure if I profited on that one. So I've just always struggled with unmanifested, and that's a huge risk. So think about that next time you buy it. And then we're going to go into the conditions. This is just equally as important. And everything, all these are going to be listed in the bottom, the description of the liquidation company. If it doesn't, I would avoid buying it because you won't know what you're getting. So conditions can be new with tags or overstock. So this means the items in the box are going to be new with tags, or they're going to be current season styles and they just have a surplus of it and they need to get rid of it. So that's their overstock. Refurbished or salvage, you'll see. This literally means you're probably going to get stuff that has holes, that needs repairs, zippers, stains, just anything and everything you're going to get in this block. These are the like types of pallets that people normally complain about when they get liquidation. So then there's also shelf pulls, outlet, or retired is what it will say. So these means that they were on the floor and they took them off for whatever reason. They might be out of season, maybe it has some minor staining or minor flaw on it and they had to pull it off the floor that someone noticed. So that's what that means. Returns, you'll see return pallets. So this means that someone physically had it and then they took it back to the store. These pallets, I've gotten one of these before and they are nasty. You'll see people return underwear that has like heavy staining on it. Deodorant stains, expect a lot of those. A lot of these items are going to be broken zippers that someone realized when they got home. Just holes, rips, stains. Because there's a lot of companies like Nordstrom's that will take back items even if like you say you didn't wear it and it's really obvious that you did. So just be prepared when you get that type of pallet, you're in for repairing items heavily. The last one is called mixed condition. So this is a mix of all of the ones I've said before this. So typically it will say mixed condition and then it will give you a percentage of how much is going to be damaged. It'll say 5% or whatever. That's give or take, and that's pretty rough. I don't mind buying mixed condition because I know I'm going to get a couple good items and a couple not so good items. So that's fine. The next thing that you need to be aware of is shipping. So with shipping you need to put into the factor of your cost of goods because that is what it's costing you to physically get the item that you need to sell. So always put the shipping into the factor of your cost of goods. So then here's an example of a pallet that I bought a while ago. So it was 393 units. I bought it for an auction price of $2,050, but the shipping was $372.59.
fee was a flat rate of $217.59. And then because I didn't have a lift gate, they charged $65. And then I had a residential fee because I was getting it shipped to my house because I don't own a warehouse. So that was another $90, bringing my total to $372.59. So with this pallet, my cost of goods was $6.16. So I had to ask myself, did I think that was a good deal for new tag items? This was manifested as well. So I knew all these items were going to be in there. Was it worth it for me to buy everything at $6.16? And I decided it was, and that's why I got it. But when I often do pallets, I assume that a certain percentage is going to be damaged and unsellable. So for this one, I decided to go with a higher amount. And so I said, I guess that 93 items were going to be damaged or not sellable. So then that brought my cost of goods up to presumably $8.07. And then I had to ask myself, did I think that was worth it? My Goodwills are very expensive here. So I decided that was a pretty good deal, getting something new with tags. The worst is I probably sell something for maybe $10, maybe $15. And I'd make my money back with the posh fees and everything. So I decided I was willing to take the chance for that cost of goods for this amount of items. I got the pallet. It was a really good pallet, and actually I only had a couple things damaged. I think out of the whole pallet, only I'm going to say max 20 items were damaged. So my cost of goods was lower. It wasn't the 807, it wasn't the 616. So that's good. Here are a couple different websites that you can buy liquidation from. I'm not putting my name to these brands. I'm not recommending that you go and buy from them. These are just ones that I know of. They're not the worst ones. I would avoid bulk, BULQ, I think it is, .com, and liquidation.com. I believe those ones are like people selling smaller boxes of liquidation. So it's going to be a higher price. Typically it's lower quality because obviously if they're a reseller or something, there's a reason they are getting rid of it to give to you. So ones that you could do is B&G Trading. Just make sure you look up their reviews. Like I said, I got a box that was okay from them. I know other people that have gotten really good boxes from them. So it's kind of a chance, and that's what it is. The next one is bstock.com. I've ordered from them. I got a really good box from them, a really good stuff. Just make sure you do your homework. Like I said, if it's manifested, if you know the conditions, if you just do your homework and do everything that I listed above, you should be good, and you should get a quality box if you do that. Next one is dervy.com. I have personally not ordered from them. I really am interested in seeing how they do. I've yet to find any reviews on them, so I'm thinking this could be either really good or really bad, that maybe it's this hidden gem that people use and they're not talking about it because they want to keep it private. So there's that. I'm not sure about that one. I think I will eventually order from them pretty soon to test it out, but if you want to try that one, go for it. Or then there's Via Trading. This is another one I have yet to use, so it's just a website that I know. It looks promising, but I'm not quite sure. And then there's quicklots.com. I'm not really sure on them, to be honest. I would be very hesitant to spend a ton of money with them. I've ordered their premium denim. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't amazing, but I would say it was okay. Obviously, other bigger, larger influencers had amazing stuff, and so I think what I got was probably pretty close to what you would get. That was on their denim boxes. I do think the cost of goods is because you're getting a curated box is a little high. I did get into a little bit of a social media with the Quick Lots person that runs their social media, and I thought it was very childish and very high school. And so for that reason, I have not ordered from them and haven't really been on their website because I think the way they do business is a little bit unprofessional. And so I'll just get into it. This is when they did their giveaway for one of their general merchandise pallets, and the girl that won had previously done promotions for them, and someone had commented saying, oh, of course the winner is someone that you've done promotions with. And then I went back later to kind of see what everyone was saying about it, and they had deleted it, and I had said I noticed that too to the girl, and so they deleted that. So then I had commented and been like, I think they deleted your comment on this. And then Quicklots reached out to me and said, yes, it was deleted. Save the drama for your mama. While we always allow honest reviews, whether good or bad, constructive criticism, and comments that are not harassing, we will not allow ugliness, unfound dramatics, or clubhouse mean girls. Have a blessed day. If you feel you can behave, I will be happy to unblock you. And I was like, what? That blew my mind for saying that she deleted a comment. And so I said, stating a fact is not drama. And she said, facts, perhaps you should look up the definition. Bogus, irrationalist assumptions are not facts. This is literally why we can't have nice things or do nice things or even make mistakes sometimes. Because instead of being kind, offering congrats, or minding your own business, some people just can't help be nasty. So I replied, I literally said your comment got deleted. So yeah, that's a fact. I did not say one mean thing. I also think people pointing out that you've had worked with winners to do giveaways is also a fact. And so to me, that was just like, this lady was being so very dramatic. And obviously a lot of people were commenting and saying things. And so she just felt like she was being bullied. So she took it out. So that is why. And then I've seen other things that the social media lady is wild, and it bothered me that she felt that I needed to apologize to her to have me unblock me. So I said, whatever, I'm glad to say blocked. And then that brings me to the themyrch drama, which is going on, which is a new liquidation company. All these liquidation companies are popping up out of nowhere lately because I think liquidation is the hot thing right now. I personally did not buy it because of the main spokesperson for themyrch. I decided a long time ago to unfollow Nicole because of just reasons. I didn't think that she was a great person, I'll say. This is my personal opinion. I used to follow her, and this is about the time when she was selling something, and she was saying that the community was so great and that we were like, she couldn't be where she was without us and all this stuff, and thank you that we're all her friends and da-da-da-da. So then later on down the line, when it was around the time that people were voting for Trump or Biden, she had said that we were not her friends, that we were just people on the internet, and that we weren't her friends and family, that her family comes to us. So to me, that was kind of like, her true colors to me, seeing that post, because it was like, well, when you want us to buy something from you, you're all kumbaya with this community and all that, and then as soon as something happens, you are like saying that we're just strangers on the internet. So that was just bizarre. So I decided to unfollow her because I felt like that was the true sense of character. I really do try not to judge people based on the internet, and I've never met her in person, so it was hard for me to say, like, to dislike her. So I've always been very neutral about her, but then that kind of just was the decision, and I decided it probably was not a good thing to be following her, so I unfollowed her for that reason. And then I decided that I would not buy these themyrch box because of that too. And I think that was a great decision. I don't know exactly what happened with that whole thing. I've yet to hear anything. But if people would follow everything I just said, then you would have realized that your cost of goods was $20 and that you didn't know what you were getting. So that's why it's really important to do your research on these liquidations. They are huge risks, but they are very rewarding. And then 3 little tips just to help you if and when you do order a pallet. So be prepared that your pallet is going to be coming with a ton of sensor tags attached. You'll get a variety of different sensor tags. You'll have ones like these. There's even these small ones. These ones are the easiest to get off. Then you have ones like this. These are a little bit harder. And you have these ones all attached on the clothes. So all you'll need to do is order a magnet. You can get these off of Amazon. There's this one. This one is linked below. This one wouldn't get all of the sensor tags off, so I did have to order this one. It's meant to be secured to something, and then it takes it off here. So definitely try to get one that is 15,000 GS. It just means it has a stronger magnet to it. So there's that. The other thing that you should be aware of when you get a liquidation pallet, if it is Nordstrom's, be prepared that it is going to come with some writing on the tags. And then it will either have, probably will have a clearance sticker. You can just peel this off, and then if it's so hot in my house, but typically you'll want to get a heat gun and it will just peel right off, or just have it be 100 degrees outside and it comes right off. So there are 2 last minute tips just to help you get your pallet and start listing everything right away so you can start making a profit on those pallets. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please give me a thumbs up and do hit subscribe. I'll look forward to doing more videos for you. See you guys later.